Please begin to prepare for this section by making yourself comfortable. Take a moment or so to do this, and if at all possible, it's preferable for you to listen to this short introduction to exercise 1 through earphones and with your eyes closed. Introduction to exercise 1. As we've already seen, we have the extraordinary ability to focus or funnel the attention of our mind in such a way as to emphasize one thing to the exclusion of other things. You know you have this focusing ability beyond a shadow of a doubt because you're actually doing it right now. You are choosing to place the focus of your attention right now, right this very second, upon my words. And as I continue to speak, you can allow yourself to listen, or you can choose to allow your mind to drift away to something else. And if you do find yourself listening to something else, like your thoughts or your feelings, then you'll probably find that my words will drift into the background of your mind from time to time. And what you actually end up listening to within your mind at any particular moment will ultimately be determined by what matters to you most at the time. This is true in general, bearing in mind, of course, that when somebody matters to you a great deal, then what matters to them will matter to you. In the first section, we're able to observe the meaning of a sentence can change if we choose to place emphasis upon one word over another. In a similar manner, what we see or what we perceive is affected by our attitude or the way we choose to look at or view a situation. There are many visual, figure and ground illusions that can be used to demonstrate this point, but for our purposes 1 or 2 will suffice. If you chose to close your eyes earlier, please open them now and look at the uppermost picture on the screen accompanying this audio. Look at the drawing. What do you see? Is it a drawing of an older lady with a very large nose and a pointy chin looking down at the word thought? Or is it a younger lady with a feathered shawl looking away from us and to her right? If you have any problem in making this shift from one picture to the other, observe that the black neckband for the younger woman is the mouth of the older lady. Spend a moment getting the hang of alternating from one image to the other, in order to watch what your mind does while trying to make the shift occur. Notice that you can achieve this shift in perception more easily if you focus on the mouth of the older lady, and then see it as the neckband of the younger lady, or vice versa. Most importantly, notice that your mind has the ability to change its focus, and as a result, your mind has the ability to control how things are defined or perceived, as in the case of this picture. Continuing now with your eyes open, choose to look at the picture of the cube below the drawing. What you can actually see are a number of black lines arranged in such a way that they appear in your mind as a 3-dimensional cube. I would like you to choose now to focus on the only face of the cube that has a series of red lines across it. See if you can choose to make this lined face the face that is closest to you, so that it looks as if the face is coming out of the screen and is the closest face to you. Observe that if you can do this, then the opposite face automatically becomes the one that is farthest away, at the rear and at the level of the screen. Once you have set the cube in your mind in this way, I'd like you to see if you can get the cube to change. See if you can adjust the focus of your vision to swap the faces so that the lined face becomes the face furthest away, so that it now becomes the one in the background and flush with the level of the screen. If you can manage to allow this shift of perception, then the face that was in the background will become the one that now comes out of the page, so that it becomes the one closest to you. Take a moment and experiment with this in your mind. See if you can bring the new face to the front and allow the front to go to the rear. Are you able to change the focus of your viewing in this way, and in so doing completely alter the way the cube is perceived? You may or may not always find this easy to do, as once you have set the orientation of the cube in your mind, there may be a little resistance as you try to change it back. Spend a minute attempting to switch the cube back and forth. And as your mind seeks to do this, step back and observe your mind and see that you do indeed have a mind. There is a mind that is going on that is attempting to change its focus. There is clearly a mind that exists, and this mind, which is you, can choose to experiment with how it looks at things. So take a look at what your mind is actually doing in order to accomplish this switching effect. And notice that it is the effect of your intention to choose a different point of focus that eventually leads to the somewhat magical perceptual shift in the form of the cube as it is presented to your mind. If you can do this and observe that you are doing this volitionally, deliberately, intentionally, then you can know beyond a shadow of a doubt that not only do you have a mind, but also that you have the capacity to choose what you emphasize with that mind, and that by choosing to emphasize one thing over another, you can influence what and how you see, which is to say, how you perceive the world around you. In addition to this capacity to choose the direction, focus or emphasis of your mind, we have also noted that you have the extraordinary ability to be aware of what you are experiencing in your mind from moment to moment. We know beyond a shadow of a doubt that you can choose to look back upon or down upon your mind and observe what sorts of things are actually going on in it. Instead of focusing outward, you can focus inward. You can choose to observe thoughts, ideas and feelings as they pass through your mind, whenever you want to. Not only this, but you can also talk to yourself about what you hear or observe going on in your mind. You can observe or see what your mind is saying about its own experiences. This capacity for self-observation is the most important ability you have. Put simply, without it, you cannot see the truth of yourself. Therefore, in this now, the only place you can ever find yourself, you need to make a commitment to practicing your ability to focus by choosing regularly to step back into your observing, questioning state of mind, both for the purpose of disciplining and training your mind so that you become the boss or master of your mind, so to speak, as well as learning to progressively see what is actually going on in it, what is actually going on in your mind from moment to moment. For in your self-studies, it is highly likely that you will find there will be times when you get sucked up or caught up in the drama of life, so that you are likely to forget your dedicated practice to stepping back into mindful awareness, curiosity, and self-learning. Remember that your commitment is to use all situations within the drama of your life to learn about you from your reactions, as one sees oneself in a mirror. But we know that old habits of thinking die hard, so your capacities to self-observe at times will be sorely tested. Which is to say, you may find that you will have many knee-jerk reactions to various hidden buttons or triggers within your mind that are frequently being pushed outside of your awareness. You will, of course, at some time or other need to observe these knee-jerk reactions in order to ferret out the thoughts and beliefs underlying them. Only in this way can you resolve the effects these subconscious beliefs are having on your perceptions and your life. Such reactive moments may be truly testing. Therefore, your practiced discipline of stepping back to observe your reactions is essential to changing your longer-term reactions. For it is certain that you cannot change what you cannot see, and you cannot change what you're not prepared to own. Thus, some preparatory practice will be necessary in order to prepare you for some of the truly testing championship self-awareness moments of your life. After all, what professional tennis player, snooker player, or athlete fails to prepare for a testing final? Therefore, in preparing for your practice sessions, please remember to find a time when you have 20 minutes in the morning and 20 minutes in the evening without interruptions. At such times, you will need to be free of any need to be doing anything or working anything out. If you practice exercise 1 regularly in this way and as suggested, the likelihood is that when you do experience testing trials and stressful thoughts and feelings, you will be that much more closer to your practiced experience of stepping back that you will more likely succeed in learning about yourself as you have chosen to do.